Today's the day, August 18th, 2025. The great Canadian adventure begins.
No.
We're going to take off.
Canadian migration.
We're going to take off to the Great White North, like Geddy Lee said all those years ago in that song with the Mackenzie brothers. They had no reference because that was 1981. Look it up. But we're heading out and getting ready to go. We got it all packed. You can see the U-Haul in the back. Got the truck loaded, got the car loaded. Any last famous words?
You're the Lewis to my Clark, but unfortunately I'm staying home.
Oh, so Clark's going to have to do it all by himself. Or Lewis is going to have to do it all by himself.
Bye,
okay.
Lewis.
Clark is staying home. All right, come on out. Got to get Mom on here as well. We're heading out to the Great White North. You remember the song Great White North?
Yes.
They looked at each other, had no idea.
Oh no, we're gonna have to play it.
Take off to the Great White North. Take off. It's a beauty way to go.
Y'all go
Take off. All right, Mom, any words of encouragement as we head off?
Not on here. It'll be to him for sure.
Oh, well, thanks.
A
Okay.
private moment.
Well, we are going to be taking off here anytime now. Final words to the Matthew?
Lots of final words.
Lots of final words. Oh! All right. Oh, they're out of the picture now. Goodbye. Goodbye. All right. We're not heading to Flushing, New York, but that's what we're advertising, I guess. We are heading out now. Mom and Matt. One, taking the Focus. We're going to see if this Focus can make it 1,200 miles to Ontario with 400,000 miles plus already on it, 404,000. But we've done everything we can to it to get it ready to go. There we go, heading off to Ontario. Oh, I better get in the truck, they're about to leave me. Well, we started off in the best of ways. We went to take off and I'd forgotten that I'd left the trailer door up on the U-Haul. So the good thing about the U-Haul and the aggravating thing about the U-Haul at the same time was that the door did not tend to want to stay up. We kept having to push it up while we were loading. Well, the good thing is the door came down when I took off. The only thing I lost temporarily was the padlock, but I went back and found it, and there it was in the road, and we're ready to go now. Doors down, secure. I'm going to lock it once I get to Starbucks and get some coffee and wake up and try to not do any more stupid things on this trip within a half a mile of even leaving. This is going to be a fun one. All right, so like I said, we picked up the padlock. We got it back on there. Trailer's all secure, ready to go. Didn't lose anything yet. We just needed to top off. Luckily, we didn't need much. I wish every time I stopped to fill up, it looked like that. And here he comes. Barely took off, and this gas-guzzling Ford Focus already needs gas. This is ridiculous. I cannot believe we just barely took off, and you're already needing gas? This is going to be an expensive trip.
You think you're real funny, don't you?
Well, I only needed 3.2 gallons. How much do you need?
Probably a little more than that.
Yeah, like I said, gas-guzzling Ford Focus. Yep, he already went over. Look at that. Gas-guzzling Ford Focus. You need to get a more fuel-efficient vehicle.
I tried.
Oh, yeah, almost 9 gallons. Oh, well. Next fill-up, I'm sure I will top him. And we're off. All right, one last little side stop to get some other things in the car versus the truck. All right, northbound and down, heading to the Great White North. through our first major roadblock, going through Nashville. Got to get through Malfunction Junction up here at 40 and 24. Head up on 24 to get to 65, which is technically on the other side of Nashville. Didn't really want to come this way, but the map said it was okay. This part's always slow, no matter what time of day it is. So once we can get past this, we'll be on our way again. There's a sign for MTSU. Matthew's former school now, but once a Blue Raider, always a Blue Raider, right, Matt? Now he's heading up to Queens University, and I don't know what their mascot is, but we'll find out. Here we go. Heading towards Louisville, not Clarksville. Won't be taking the last train to Clarksville. Taking the next train to Louisville. Over off there in the distance, off to the right, is the new Titans Stadium. By the time Matt gets done with his graduate program, they'll have that stadium built, and we can head there to watch the Titans play. Maybe. Hopefully Cam Ward will bring them back to relevance. And there's that Titan Stadium over there in the distance. Can't remember if it's going to be domed or still open. Either way, a couple of $1 billion being erected there. They sure did build it close to the road. So much for any more highway expansion. Cute. Drive hammered, get nailed. Cute. And right next to that is a sign that says real iced tea, real vodka. Alright, northbound and down. Getting on 65 up here. If we can ever get past this traffic. Alright, a little over an hour and a half in, and we're already crossing over into the next state. Heading into the bluegrass state of Kentucky. Got to cross this state, 3 more states to go before we cross the border and take over Canada as the 51st state. Here we go. We didn't really go to Canada. We just wanted to go to Kentucky so we could find the nearest Sunnies. I mean, being from Florida and all, we're really ticked off at Sunnies that there isn't one in Tennessee. But there is one in Kentucky, and we had to stop at it before we went any further. So we're going to find out if the Sunnies barbecue in Kentucky is any better than in Florida. We'll let you know. Well, what's the final verdict? Sunnies in Kentucky as good as Sunnies in Florida?
I'd say it's the same.
I'd say it's good. Why aren't you in Tennessee?
No doubt.
Oh well. Gotta hit the road. See you later. Here we are. We're heading northbound. The Focus is taking the lead. See how it does out in the lead for a while. So far so good. New tires running good. Alignment running good. Car running good. And there's a police officer up ahead of us. At least he's not behind us. So far so good. We'll give you another update as we get further up into Kentucky or by the time we get to Ohio. Hang with us. Pretty good on gas mileage. 155 miles in, getting almost 16 miles to the gallon, pulling a U-Haul trailer. Not the biggest U-Haul trailer, but nonetheless, they're nothing like a boat anchor in the wind. So doing pretty good overall on the gas mileage, but we're about to stop up here, get a little refreshed, and empty our tanks at the same time, if you know what I mean. We'll catch back up with you soon. By the Kentucky Derby Museum. We're in the Louisville area. Still doing well. Not much traffic. But of course, it's getting real busy here with 5 lanes, so we're going to pay attention. Going by the Louisville Cardinals Stadium, home of the Louisville Cardinals, University of Louisville. Heading northbound on 71 now, heading towards the Queen City of Cincinnati, and on to one of my old hometown stops in Trenton, Ohio. Only spent a year there, and it still was home for a while. Here we go. Alright, so we got up close to Cincinnati. We're in the Glasgow, Glencore area of Kentucky. We had to get off on a side road, trying to get around some traffic that's backed up on 71. And we're on a 2-lane road, 127. I thought it was going to be a little better than it is. It's a little bumpy. There she is, Cincinnati, Ohio. You can see the Bengals Stadium right there in the distance as you're getting close to going over the Ohio River. Man, I haven't been in Cincinnati since 1978. One of my memories then was going to the Reds game with my mother, and that's when the Big Red Machine was still together. Johnny Bench behind the plate, Pete Rose at third, Tony Perez at first, and Tom Seaver was pitching that day. He'd already been traded to the Reds from the Mets. Man, that was a great day. I'll never forget it. Don't remember the team they played. I think it might have been the Braves. But it was a great day. Here we go. We're heading across the river now. We'll be in Cincinnati. It's a pretty cool Radisson Hotel there. Kind of retro looking. Here we go into Ohio. Crossing the Ohio River right now. Just like old times, there's a barge going down the river right now. Again, you can see the Bengals Stadium off to the right over there. I don't know what they call it. Oh, Paycor Stadium. Yeah, whoever the sponsor is today. Back when I went to that ball game, it was Riverfront Stadium. I'm sure that's long gone. Here we go. Welcome to Ohio, the heart of it all. My wife and son have never been here before, so this is their first time into Ohio. And we finally got out of traffic. That's a good thing. Well, just when I thought we were going to get out of traffic, we're in it, and I'll be doggone if we're not on I-75 again. You know how many times I've traveled I-75 between Florida and Tennessee? And now I'm on I-75 again. I know, it goes all the way up through Ohio and everything, but it's just ironic to be back on I-75. And what is it? Every time I go in, Morgan & Morgan is there. I know, they're a national law firm, but I get sick and tired of seeing that guy's face in every town I go to. Well, today's day 2 on our journey. We made it to Middletown, Ohio last night, and this morning we stopped by my old hometown, for 7th grade anyway, in Trenton, Ohio. Looked around where I used to live, where my friends used to live, and where I went to school, in actually 7 Mile, Ohio, which 7 Mile, Ohio is known as 7 miles because it was 7 miles from Hamilton, Ohio. There's also a 12 Mile, Ohio, which is 12 miles from Hamilton, Ohio. I think you get what I mean. Kind of different as far as naming. Anyway, we went and visited those areas, had a good time. Even the old Casano's Pizza is still there after our 45, 46 years. Here's a few pictures from our visit to Trenton, Ohio. We stopped by Trenton Townhouse Square, where my mom and I lived, apartment number 35. It's a lot older than it was in 1978, but still looks basically the same. We drove by my friend Jennifer Story's house too. She lived probably a mile from me. After driving around Trenton, we made it to 7 Mile, Ohio, where I attended Edgewood Junior High. The original school is gone, replaced by a 1-story early learning center, but the old auditorium is still there. That's me standing in front of it where I said goodbye to my friends at the end of the school year in 1979, not knowing at the time I would never return for 8th grade. It was good to finally return 47 years later to see that some of the same places I knew were still there. This is still doing good, ran good, no problems, cooled well, air conditioner works well. The Ram's running good. 260,000 miles. We're filling up with gas now. Guess Matt's going to beat me on the gas. His only took 8 gallons. I'm still 11 gallons and running. We're about to hit the highway again, go up I-71 to get to Erie, Pennsylvania for our next stopover on our way to Ontario, Canada. We're crisscrossing the Ohio countryside, going from township to township. That's what they call them in Ohio, townships. In farmlands, going across from Trenton, Ohio, crossing 75 to get over to 71 so we can crisscross the state from southwest to northeast, go through Cleveland, Columbus, and then Cleveland. And our destination for today is Erie, Pennsylvania. There's sure is some pretty countryside in Ohio. Some parts of it I'd never seen even in the time I lived out here because we were usually using interstates to get back to the northeast. We've been in Ohio all day long, and we finally made it to Pennsylvania. Man, I thought Georgia was long from one end to the other. I'm going by the Buffalo stamping plant. They had the Ford F-150 on there, so it looks like that may be where they make some of them. There's clearly one of the old steel mills from back in the day. Very dilapidated. Old Steelworks Industrial Park. Space available. Yeah, I'd say lots of space available. I never see that coming back, unfortunately. It's the old industrial area of Buffalo. It looks like we're heading towards downtown Buffalo right now. Skyscrapers off in the distance. Believe it or not, it's late August, but it sure looks like a dreary late November day up here. Temperature 69 degrees, so it's not too bad. This is the Buffalo Outer Harbor. We're rolling right up into the back of a garbage truck. Couldn't be any better. At least he's getting off. It's of the Industrial Pass over here on the Buffalo Harbor. A little hard to see Buffalo off in the distance today. It's a cloudy, dreary day. We picked this the best day to go see Niagara Falls, but we can't help the trip, the weather on the trip. We had to come through here when we had to come through here. Here we go across the Sky Bridge. A welcome center for Western New York. It has its own welcome center. Not the state of New York, Western New York. Go figure. Obey lane signals. Why would you not obey the lane signals? This is one narrow bridge. Like there's a lot of amusement going on over there at this amusement park. I think it's been abandoned. In fact, I'm pretty sure of it. Too bad. I love amusement parks. We've made it to the city of Niagara Falls. Hopefully we'll be seeing Niagara Falls soon. Niagara State Falls State Park, American Falls. Here we are, we've made it to the Niagara Falls State Park. The American Falls side. Established in 1885. I think we're getting close. I'm starting to see some raging rapids here. Yep, definitely in a touristy area. Look at that. That is amazing. Crazy thing to think, people getting in a barrel and going over the falls. First we checked out the visitor center and the Niagara Falls Hard Rock Cafe. Had lunch, then headed to see the falls. Okay, we've made it to Niagara Falls. And down there is the, what did they call that boat again? Lady of the Mist or something like that. That's your boats that go out there and take you over there to the falls, which is being blocked by the Peace Bridge. Not very peaceful. Anyway, we're here waiting on the trolley so we can get a little closer. We're either going to take that boat or we're going to take the stairs down. There's actually two falls here. There's the American Falls and then there's the Horseshoe Falls. And that side over there is Canada. There you go. It's the Maid of the Mist. That's what it's called. That's what those boats are, going back and forth. After our trolley ride, we walked to the Canadian side to get a better view of the falls. Please hang with us through the next few minutes of the clips because there was an awful lot of wind noise as we crossed the bridge and got to the Canadian side. Here we are crossing the American-Canadian border, and over there is Niagara Falls. On to the right is Horseshoe Falls, and then you got the American Falls on the left. Of course, the observation tower. Right, yeah, do not drop my phone. Anyway, there's both the falls, observation tower in the way. We're on the last few inches of the American soil. We're going to cross over and see what else we can see. The middle of the Peace Bridge represents the border between the U.S. and Canada. Here's a close-up more of the Maid of the Mist and all the people in their blue ponchos. And if you're on the Canadian side, you get to see all the people in their red ponchos. Over here, we have the Canadian Hotel next to the Rock Hotel. Go figure. I don't know how it got there, folks, but that may be the world's biggest Hershey's chocolate kiss. Probably stale, too, considering how long it's been there. We've got the casino up here. Yeah. I bet you one Hershey's Kiss. Here's a little bit of history for you. The original upper suspension bridge that was built crossing over back in the late 1800s. It went through different stages, became a steel arch bridge that eventually collapsed when the ice jam knocked it into the river back in 1938, right in this spot. There, we can see Niagara Falls. What a beautiful sight. I'm glad we stopped here on the way taking Matt to Canada. Here we are, Niagara Falls. We're on the Canadian side. It's filming. Look at that, how beautiful that is in the background. And I'm also taking pictures at the same time. You see that little white button up there? Anyway, this is beautiful. Glad we got the chance to do this on the way taking Matt to Canada. He's now in Canada. We're going to leave him here. He's going to have to make it the rest of the way by himself because we're jumping off here, literally. Here we are. We're even closer to that area. It's beautiful. Paula says she's going to go over the edge in a barrel. Right? No? She's shaking her head yes. And in this episode, Matthew is going to zip line down to the falls.
I don't know why you lie to people.
So they stay tuned for more great content. Here's where we're getting our best shot of the Canadian side with their red ponchos on. And you can see both of the falls. Just beautiful. This one puts out a lot more mist right there. A lot more water falling on that side. Check that out. This is definitely worth it. If you've never been, you should definitely come. Woo-hoo! Look at that. Oh yeah. I'm doing that next time for sure. Yeah, that's the one you see everywhere. Because that mist there isn't as much and it goes over here. Look at all the birds. Check it out. That's Horseshoe Falls right there. That is so beautiful. So powerful. Look at the hundreds, I don't know if you can see it or not, the hundreds of thousands of birds out here. Well, we just left Niagara Falls State Park, the oldest state park in the country. I thought it was a national park, but anyway, oldest state park in the country. Had a good time. Best way to see it, if you didn't want to get in a boat or go down some stairs, is to go across to the Canadian side, which we did. Took a lot of video. We'll include some of that here. But now, on to our final destination, Kingston, Ontario. Got a little ways to go, but we'll get there. Old abandoned amusement park again. Maybe get a better shot of it this way. It's the old Niagara Amusement Park and Splash World. Don't think there's much amusement or splashing going on these days. Well, we've made it to Watertown, New York. It's after 7, and we also found fall. It is cold up here. It's maybe 59 degrees. We're still wearing shorts and a t-shirt. A little cold, but we've got a jacket. We'll be all right. Focus is still doing fine, and the Ram's still doing fine. Now, if we can just get across the border with all this stuff that we've got in the U-Haul, I know we will, but you're always a little nervous with that stuff nowadays when they're worried about everything that you might bring into their country. But we've got no contraband, none of that issues, so we should be good. And we'll give you an update once we get where we're going. Look at that sunset as we head northbound. We're almost to the Canadian border. It's been cloudy all day. I always thought you had to go west to chase the sun. Going north kind of works too. Pretty sunset, pretty sky. It is again as we come over the hill. That is so pretty. That's looking out over Lake Ontario as we get close to the Canadian border. We go over the Thousand Islands Bridge, 650, and my SunPass wasn't working. It said it was inactive. That's the first. Don't think they could have built a more narrow bridge. Here we go with a semi coming our way. Second one. Wouldn't want to come across this thing in bad weather. Well, we made it across in one piece. Now to the next. Leaving the U.S., heading into Canada. Last U.S. exit, DeWolf Point. Here we go. This is where the fun starts. See if we can get through here. Duty-free entrance. Duty-free Americas. Canada Customs Stop. 1,000 feet. Well, here we go. We're going to find out real quick what goes and what doesn't. And there's one lane. 2 lanes. No, 1 lane. Well, that was easy. Except the guard decided to yell at my son for pulling in right behind me instead of waiting back at the stop sign. I thought for sure they were going to make me pull over here and open up this U-Haul and tell them everything that was in it. They just asked me what was in it. I told them. They asked me if I had any alcohol or tobacco, any firearms, and that was it. Pretty easy to invade Canada. It's a good thing we're only bringing bedroom furniture and some books and an office chair. Honestly, they're keeping him longer than he kept me. Like, it's probably my wife being in the car with him. That's a suspicious person. I'd keep him longer too. In fact, I'd probably do a full inspection of that car. Been 1,041 miles, and we've got about 25 more to go. Looks like he made it across the border too, so here we go. Okay, so we're stuck here for a little bit. He's got to go inside, show him his paperwork. It was easier for me to get across the border than him, but he says he's here for a different purpose. Obviously, he's here staying for a year to go to school, so I guess he's got to show his paperwork and everything, so we're on standby with our flashers. After getting to Canada, we spent most of the first week helping Matt find another apartment to live in, followed by scavenging Facebook Marketplace and the thrift stores to help him furnish it. Then, we finally had time to see some of the sights around Kingston, Ontario. I think I did the best imitation of the letter I in the Kingston sign, but Matt and Paula would probably disagree. The most popular tourist site in Kingston is the Kingston Penitentiary, which opened in the 1800s and remained open until 2013. Today's the day we finally get Paula into her new home, her own personal cell at the Kingston Penitentiary. Hopefully it's maximum security, so she'll never get out again. We even toured the last remaining passenger cruise steamship from the Edwardian era called the Keewatin. built during the same era as the Titanic. The historic downtown area on the waterfront of Lake Ontario includes a beautiful park, historic train station, and coal-fired train engine. We even took a trolley ride around the town to see more historic sites, all while the weather was unbeatable with every day in the 60s or 70s. Okay guys, so what's the final conclusion? We took this 2007 Ford Focus. We did a whole bunch to it over the summer to get it in shape to take to my son's college here in Ontario. And how did it do? Well, let's go over it just a minute. First of all, the headlights did great. They were an addition that we put on there. And so we ended up doing some nighttime driving with it, and the headlights turned out great on it. Our body paint and everything that we did to remediate the rust is held up. Our new additions of the hood and the fender, they stayed on, so you know we're body experts now. Overall, I've got to say I'm really impressed. This car, when we got it, had a little over 400,000 miles on it. It's now got almost 406,000 miles of bringing it up here to Canada. And this little Ford 2.0, I am thoroughly impressed. I've not been impressed with Fords over the years, but this little engine is the little engine that could and does. So, what's the bottom line too? When we first got up here, we did about 1,100 miles. We checked the oil, and it was not low. It had not burned any at all. And look at this now. We've been up here doing some city driving, probably put another 300 or 400 miles on it. And again, 400 and almost 6,000 miles, and it does not burn oil. Thoroughly impressed. The oil, obviously, on the sides of the engine and everything else were from this valve cover leaking. We replaced the valve cover gasket this summer, and this thing has just been going great. We did have to add a little bit of power steering fluid to it. It seems like it maybe leaks just a little bit on the seal and the gasket. I'm not sure, but again, no complaints. Air conditioner that we had installed in it is doing great as well. And check this out. Today is the last day before we're leaving, and as a parting gift for my son, we had this car interior detailed, and you just would not believe it. I mean, yeah, it's got a hole in the seat there from this replacement seat, but that seat over there is actually gray and has a pattern to it. It was all dirty and filled in. We took it up to a place called All the Details here. Check this place out right here. If you're ever in Kingston, Ontario, go check this guy out. Haider Ali, awesome job. He's down on King Street, did a fantastic job. Cost a little under 200 American dollars, and this thing absolutely shines. It stunk before from 400,000 miles and no one taking care of it, and after that it just looks great. Looking in the back seat, I mean, it just could not look any better. Look at this. Had the carpets detailed. This looks great. Going to check out this other side over here too, where we had a Coke spill on the way up here and it stained that carpet brown. Going over the passenger side, I mean, just look at it. I wouldn't say it looks new, but boy, it couldn't look much better. Well, there you go. The bottom, or the back inside of this, look at this. Looks so good in here. That's where we had spilled a Coke, and it just looked terrible back there, but it's all cleaned up. And hey, this guy, Haider Ali, at All the Details detailing shop, did a great job of bringing this interior back to life. And now, what can I say? 400,000 mile car, you wouldn't know it. This thing looks fantastic and drive around, and it just so much better than it was this summer. Check out the video where we first got it, and you can tell the difference. You can click on it up there in the right hand corner and see what a difference this car's made. And now it's here for him to get him through college for the next year. Well, there you go, guys. That's the end of our trip to the Great White North, where it's not white yet. It is great up here, though. The weather's just been fantastic in the 70s, 60s. Couldn't be any better. I wish it was going to be that way come December or January, but we'll be back in Tennessee by then, and my son will have to be putting up with it here. But I hope you enjoyed this trip to the Great White North. Now all we've got to do is get back to the Great Green South, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, we're getting back to Tennessee soon. So I hope you enjoyed this video and stick with us. And by the way, we now have memberships. So if you want to join the 199ers Club. That's $1.99 a month. That's another way you can support the channel if you want. Again, watch our videos, watch them all the way through. The longer you watch them, the better we do. Like, share, and subscribe, all those things, and have a good one. And stay tuned to see more from me, Earl with an E.